In this day and age, there are a lot of us out there. And I think you have to have a fire in your belly if you're going to get into this business today, because it really takes a tenacity that is unprecedented to really forge your way into the business.
You've been with Corcoran since '96.
Correct.
And from what I understand, in your first year, you won the Rookie of the Year award.
Yeah.
And you haven't stopped since '96. You're consistently in the top list of the best brokers in New York City. Every listing that we shoot for you seems to be amazing.
Thanks.
And it makes our job easier.
That's why I call you.
That's great. Makes us look
Well,
great.
I only call you when I have something great.
Which is awesome. Let's talk about one in particular, 74 Grand Street. We shot that video for you, and I understand that you successfully closed that sale. Tell me a little bit about that place.
That building, firstly, is in SoHo, a very good location. New construction, as most people know, is very rare in SoHo. What I had to offer there were incredible interiors. $25 by 30 living rooms and beautiful kitchens, bathrooms, and super high ceilings. And the building was an old cast iron loft building. What the builders did was they demolished everything behind the cast iron facade and then rebuilt it from the ground up. Notable deals were a 5th floor, 2-bedroom for $4.5 million, and then a 2nd floor was in contract for $5.5 million.
What would you say was the draw for most of these buyers?
Well, SoHo,
Location.
Location is a key factor, but also the photography and the video. I mean, you really are responsible for telling a story to the consumer when you're marketing a property. Making the interiors look as beautiful as you possibly can, and there was a great stager involved. And their first point of impression are the photographs.
Right.
Photographers and videographers really brought the public in.
Let's take it uptown and talk about one of your listings at 730 Park Avenue, 7C.
From what I'm told from all of the brokers who have come through, it's definitely the most beautiful property available in mint move-in condition on Park Avenue. It's a 4,300 square foot home that is 4 bedrooms, 4.5 bathrooms. And the sellers took this property back to the brick and floor to ceiling and completely rebuilt it to the tune of millions and millions of dollars. It's a very special renovation. The person who gets to purchase the apartment is buying a true state-of-the-art home where every pipe, wire has been replaced. All of the HVAC is state-of-the-art with multiple zones, Lutron lighting and shades, state-of-the-art kitchens and bathrooms, heated floors. It's just absolutely cool.
So it wasn't designed to sell or flip.
Not at all.
It was designed to live in, so they went...
Not at all.
They went all the way.
Not at all. This home has a beautiful European sensibility, but also with a modern twist in one of the finest buildings in Manhattan.
It sounds like we'll be talking about the sale of that one soon enough.
I hope so.
Is there a secret to your success?
Well, I think a lot of us who have kind of maintained that position are just heartfelt, dependable, 24/7 people. And I think that when you're working in the real estate field, transactions take place all around the world and all around the clock, regardless of where your client is from. So really being that dependable source of information and service is, I think, what gets us there.
And how do you strike the balance, though?
People who are successful in this industry have found an internal balance, if you will, on how to embrace what you do, which for me is all about people.
Yeah.
And make that part of your life. So whether I'm actually out of town on a Saturday, I'm still doing a deal. If I'm in an airport, I'm still doing a deal. If I'm in a hotel, et cetera, and so forth. So it just doesn't stop. And it's been really rewarding for me and the people that I serve, and hopefully appreciated. And that's how we get there.
Where do you see the market as of today?
I feel like this year is starting off beautifully, actually. My volume has been great. I have a lot of action in the very high end of my portfolio now, which is fantastic. But, my team also takes care of a lot of first-time home buyers, and I do that myself as well because I always like to be busy, and I get tons of referral business on parents' kids who are buying their first $1.5 million apartment, and I'm working on those right now as well. And deals are happening, things are moving. Inventory is a little tight, so that also helps keep prices stable.
Why is inventory so tight right now?
People who want to sort of move up in the world, 4 years ago when interest rates were 3% or below, you could buy a $3.5–4 million apartment, which is sort of like has always been my sweet spot.
Yeah.
And do it for $12,000 a month. Now it's $24,000 a month. So
Right.
the cash flow has really affected that part of the market, and we're just seeing a lot of cash deals. So last year, 85% of my deals over $2 million were cash.
In your opinion, what makes New York City so great?
Oh gosh, texture, food, entertainment, views, architecture, energy, buzz. It always seems to rebound before the rest of the world as well. Like, people always, it's funny, Wall Street always loves to see the real estate market struggle, and Wall Streeters often wait until they've missed because they always just think it's going to go down.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, it's rebounded, and we're always sort of 6 months ahead of the rest of the country. And our rebounds here are quick because it's such, you can't build more Manhattan. Brooklyn now, for instance, my team sells a lot in Brooklyn now.
Is that right? Yeah.
And we're seeing $2,000 a square foot in Brooklyn.
In Brooklyn.
For luxury property, which is amazing. So now Queens is experiencing a great increase in value because now people are turning towards the high rises in Queens, where they used to be $1,000 a square foot, and now they're $1,500 a square foot.
Right.
So that's sort of the way this metropolitan market works. It's spreading out. Workers move into these outskirt areas of the city, values go up, and before you know it, you're spending $2,000 a square foot for a 30th floor apartment in Brooklyn.
Who would have ever thought? I was born and raised in Brooklyn. I would have never.
I saw it coming.
I would have never thought that was. You saw it coming.
Yeah, when you're spending, $4,000 a square foot for a luxury apartment in New York City, no matter how much money you make, there are going to be people who think that's absolutely ridiculous, and they're going to, move to tree-lined Brooklyn and buy a brownstone,
Yeah.
which is, the townhouse market in Brooklyn has skyrocketed.
You have a positive outlook on it. Where do you see the real estate market going? Over the next 6 months. It's spring now, 2024.
I think we're in a good year. 2022 is, helter skelter because of interest rates, particularly. It really affected the market all around, and I think some brokers will tell you their business was down 25%. Some brokers' business was down 50% or more, and then some people did incredibly well. But volume was definitely down. I probably did about 14 deals where parents were buying all cash for their kids because the interest rates were just too high for them to actually afford the payments. And we did a bunch of deals between like $1.2 million and $3 million where parents were literally, or trust funds were buying kids' apartments.
Right.
So that they would have a home versus this really high rent that people have been experiencing. This year, I think we have a lot of pent-up demand. And again, inventory is a little bit, is low. So it's really helping the market move, and it's helping prices be very stable, if not inching up ever so slightly. So I think we're in a very good year. It's going to prove to be a good one. Because interest rates really aren't going anywhere and rents are as high as they've ever been. So, why spend $5,000, $6,000, $6,500, $7,000 for a one-bedroom apartment downtown when you can buy something and invest in yourself?
Now, when you say you were concerned, there had to have been times over your career that you've been concerned. Would you say that this was a time that you were most concerned, or it was just another one of those moments in the real estate ebb and flow that you're like, How concerned were you is the question.
I mean, I think a salesperson's always concerned. We're concerned about helping people find what they need or helping them achieve their goals. But when there is no business, salespeople are always concerned. But I think the main concern is firstly servicing our clients and making sure that they feel taken care of. But when the business is really thin and there isn't a lot to do, which happens rarely, but from time to time, what I like to do is create my own recovery, and I just get out there and I pound the pavement and I look for people to help. Whether it's by communicating with my clients that I've helped in the past or doing social media marketing, I always keep myself busy. And a lot of the downturns happened when I was much younger. I didn't blink an eye at working 24/7 to find the business.
That's great. I was going to ask if you had any advice for any newcomers to the industry, but I think you just sort of nailed it right there. Work hard. Just work hard. Just work hard.
You really have to differentiate yourself by being the most caring and accessible person you possibly can be to help your clients get to where they need to go. And I think you have to have a fire in your belly if you're going to get into this business today, because it really takes a tenacity that is unprecedented to really forge your way into the business.
Thanks again for coming out to Queens and talking about these sales and new listings. And I'm looking forward to doing this again and again and again and working with you on some more property videos and just hanging out with you.
I love hanging out with you.
It's always wonderful.
Yeah,
thanks,
wonderful.
Scott.
Thank you
Thanks
so
very
much
much.
for having me.
Absolutely.